doing?
Hey, who did that beat though? Who did that beat?
I made that like 2 years ago.
Oh, beat by Tommy. Okay.
Just started playing for 3 weeks now.
Okay. Listen,
Started 3 weeks like
we keeping it
but
in the family. You feel me?
we're not trying to get copyrighted.
We had no more outsiders. We keeping it to us. We make our own stuff. But how you feeling, bro?
I'm good.
Another episode. We back.
We chilling. Yeah.
In the house. Who we got today, though?
Javon Gillespie.
What's good with y'all?
Hey, what's up, bro? Introduce yourself to the supporters. Introduce yourself.
Say what's up. My name is Vaughn. Most people call me Vaughn. I used to be the MO president. I stepped down recently. 2022 recipient of the Outstanding Student President Award. You know,
Let's talk.
You might know who I am. World Brand Ambassador.
Just a little bit.
World brand ambassador. You heard him.
Him.
He said him. Hey, yo, so listen, though. You know what's crazy? So, the supporters don't know. What happened? You messed it up?
No, I pressed the box button and went da 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 da.
It's the... Hey, that's hilarious, bro. Only the people who go listen to us on the audio only on Spotify, on the podcast.
You gonna hear that?
What is it called? The podcast app. Go check us out. You know, we moving. We doing a little things. So like, Javon said he was the president of Men of Honor. You know, well, what's so funny is when I met Javon was the secretary, right?
Facts.
All right. So like, what's so funny about that is, to me, for the people who know me, y'all know me, but for those who don't, like I took a liking to Javon because Javon was like something that I wanted to be, but he was what I was on the other half of him. Like, so I like that about him because he had something that I didn't have, which was very much book smarts, but also street smarts. And I appreciated that, you know, being around him. I've seen that, unlike the other guys, and this is no shade to the other guys, but these guys were very well-mannered, great guys. And I could tell just looking at Javon that he was a little bit different than the rest of them. He didn't smile as much. He wasn't as welcoming as the other guys. He didn't really talk as much. So it made me like put my eyes on him and try to figure out what's up with this guy? Like, what's going on with him? But before I can say a word to him, this man come and approach me. And he come and approach me. He asked me who I was.
Type of shit. I remember it was the ceremony y'all got inducted.
Yes, sir.
We was teaching niggas the Mo handshake. And nigga Wisdom, he was like, I don't know if y'all should be doing that shit. That was some insert gang name. I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, alright. He must go look something. So after he was explaining that, I was like, so what's, you know what I'm saying? What's up with you, my nigga? Like, I'm like, what you with? Like, you know what I'm saying? I definitely, we cool, but yeah, it caught me off guard seeing another nigga
He said
at a university in that situation.
He said insert gang name.
Nah, cause
No.
everything ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But what we found out though, we of course we from two different cities, two different states, but we from two totally different gangs. All right, two totally different. All right, so but what the real message to this is this though. We was from two totally different gangs, and we realized that in that very much moment, realized that our politics is very different because we from two different cities. We talked to each other about the politics, learned about each other, and understood that Men of Honor was the greater purpose because that's what brought us together. And so, like, I started being around him, learning him, and actually letting him learn from me, letting him see from my experiences. Because, like as I keep saying on every episode, I'm older than these guys, so I tell you, I learned so much from them of what's going on today. But I try to tell them, look, you on the right path. What you doing? I know it's getting hard. I know it be hard sometimes, but don't ever stop doing what you're doing, because there's dudes that will die to be in your position. They just didn't have the courage to step up and do what you're doing. So never think bad of yourself when you having hard days, because truth be told, them days gonna pass and you gonna be up. When you walk that stage, you gonna be up. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into this actual episode, man. I just had to get that out for the people who, don't know you and might just be tuning in because they might be somebody that know you or know Tommy and they don't know either one of us or something, So just had to lay that off. But speaking about both of us being from, two different sides, do you think that gangs are destructive to our community?
I think the way gangs have been handled has destroyed the community. I think the original purpose that they were set for was for black protection, but I think that's a hard question to answer.
Listen, I understand.
It's, I don't know, shit get rough, I don't know. I wouldn't say they're destroying the community, but the violence that has came with it has destroyed the community. But the actual foundations of why they was built was not put in to destroy a community. It was put in to build the community up, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I actually just because we got all these things going on with these gangs going down around the United States, and they looked at as domestic terrorists, So I asked you that because, to me, I don't know how it is to be someone that's an adult who is claiming a neighborhood or whatever. I don't know what that means. I started doing this as a kid, a teenager, a young teenager. So how I view things is a lot different because it was very much oriented family. I ran around with, guys that was hungry like me. We ran behind a guy that was older than us, that was like a father figure. If we did certain things happen.
Okay, what you just saying now has definitely changed in later years. Now it's
in certain places. Yeah, so I definitely, and listen, but I'll say this, right? Gangs definitely do a harm to the community, right? Yeah. So does drugs.
Facts.
So does prostitution. So does scamming.
Facts.
So I feel like this. I don't think it's gangs necessarily. I feel like it's the people within the gangs.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the organizational side of it, of how it brings people together. No matter what you do, think about it. You might be at a church and it's a funeral, and people might get into it. It's always this is just human nature for us to be violent and be aggressive. So you can't. I don't always necessarily bring, because if you don't have gangs, and I'm talking about your national gangs that that people know of, right? If you didn't have them, then you would just have neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. The neighborhoods would be beef because not every place have gangs.
That's true.
So when you say, what do you call them gangs too? So what makes the word a gang?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying? If you didn't have these organizations, see?
I can cuss on here?
No, I mean, yeah.
I got you. Yes, I think what it is now is it don't matter what it is with these young niggas in this generation, as long as it's something that a lot of niggas they see doing and they think it's cool, they gonna do it. That could be sports, gang banging, drugs. I can't speak for everybody else. I was peer pressured a lot in high school, but once I made the decisions under peer pressure, I started doing them on my own, under my own will. So it's a weird subject.
But unlike these other guys, let's just keep it real. That's why I'm touching on this and I'm asking you specifically this is because unlike most of those guys who was out there making poor choices,
Facts.
you had good grades.
Yeah, that's true.
And you had, forget good grades, you had great grades.
That's facts.
So even though you made poor choices, you still had to know from right from wrong, and you still wanted greater. Facts. So when I ask you this question, I'm asking you specifically because I know where you come from. Mm-hmm. So do you think that they're destructive?
Yeah, I do.
And I ask you that because if you didn't have the opportunity to get to UTSA, where do you think you'd be at today?
Realistically, I'd probably be taking classes at CTC.
So you still be going to school at home?
Yes, but since I would still be at home, I would still be running with the same niggas, doing the same shit, making the same poor choices. So I don't think I would have went anywhere with it. I probably would have failed out or stopped going to school and got a job. Which ain't a bad thing. I'm not knocking a nigga hustle. You know, everybody make their own money how they make it, of course. But I don't think I would be at the level I am now. And I'm not saying that like I'm better than anybody, but I don't think I would be in the position or the headspace that I am now if I would have stayed home in that same environment. Yeah, facts.
So Tony, as somebody who is not from a gang, you know, I'm sure you know people in gangs from Dallas, because Dallas is a very much gang-oriented city. Like, what made you steer away from that? Even though I know you probably have friends that are in gangs.
This is corny, but I'm not gonna lie. I've always been like I want to do things myself by myself type person. Like, it's not even like that.
Now, it's not corny. That makes you an individual. That makes you a man. Not saying that don't make gang members men, but it's just that you stand on your own principles. Some of us needed something to lean on for whatever reason.
Yeah, because like I had friends in different type of gangs, stuff like that. But like when it came down to like, oh yeah, do I want to be a part of that hoe? One, I didn't see a point. Like I didn't have truly like a need to be in a gang or that type of brotherhood. I had different type of brotherhoods, and regardless, like outside person, I'm by myself regardless. Like even when I show up to school, go home, be by myself. I hit people up like every now and then. But like if you don't hit me up, I'm not saying nothing just because I'm about to be at home watching anime or like working out or doing some like this, you know, some Tommy stuff, but nothing like that. So like to me, gang culture was always around me. I was always cool with people in it. I saw a necessity for it because for most some people that was how they survived. Mm-hmm. Like I seen a lot of kids who moved into the neighborhood essentially because like, you know, oh yeah, grandma lived a little bit over there, so I'm still stay over there. But like you're not really like completely out of, you still going back home during the weekend and seeing your people still doing the same thing, still like, you know, so like people still at school, like Bloods and Crips doing whatever they're doing, chilling, everybody getting along. Like one thing about it is that at school and stuff like that, we didn't actually have like some real, we did a little bit, but it was never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna blow you Crip, I can't, you know.
We didn't have
it wasn't, yeah.
So y'all didn't have like color beef?
Nah, because at school specifically, I'm gonna say, that was like, I guess, people could say that was like more like Switzerland, but like,
okay.
But if you were outside of school, trying to do something, all right, we're gonna keep it there, but keep it, you know. There were some times where some people would be like, oh nah, I got beef for me, I'm gonna do something, but like, we going to school, and like, our teachers aren't like those type of people that should be even going through like having to deal with that. So like, even though sometimes they did, but it was like, why would you want to put teachers through that? It's like a lot of people who were in gangs stuff like that would put that in their mind, like, that's not for here. I'm here for someone else. Even if I don't want to be here, I'm here for someone else.
Nah, I feel that, bro. You know what I mean? When I look back at it though, because I asked that question because I fight with myself all the time. You know, being the age that I am now, like thinking back like on the childhood mentality, the destruction, you know what I mean? But not having my father and not having a real, you know, family system, you know, because you know, my grandmother was the rock, you know, and she started to get sick and pass away, and you know, as those things happen, you know, the real family dynamic started to show, and we were broken. You know what I mean? And some of us love each other, but a lot of us don't really know each other. You know, because we didn't really spend a lot of time with each other. Certain ones did and certain ones didn't. So for me, they weren't really like my family, even though they are my blood family. And I can say that I have love for them, but I don't love them because I don't truly know them and they don't truly know me. But I have love for them because we share the same blood. But throughout my life, it was times that I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing, but it was because I was unsupervised and unloved, and I wasn't even mindful enough to go and ask for help because I didn't know what I was doing was wrong until I started to get judged by my close friends' parents. And the things that I was doing, they didn't want their child to be around me. And I became that friend that everybody was like, oh, no, you got to stay away from here. I lost one of my closest friends named Algerard because of that. Like, I was doing too much, but couldn't come to him and tell him, like, hey, bro, this is what I'm doing. And I don't know why I'm doing it, but I need help to keep me from doing it. But instead, I just did it, disrespected, keep disrespecting, and he had to say, you know what, bro, I gotta wash my hands with you. Cause if my mom feel like you're disrespecting the crib, you disrespecting me. Because you supposed to be my homie, and you disrespecting my house, I can't rock with you. You feel me? I lost a lot of friends like that, bro. And by the time I got into that 16, 17-year-old mentality, but I was doing drugs heavy, smoking weed daily. You understand me? I'm talking about going crazy. Every day running the streets with real live gorillas that get their hands filthy. And I'm talking about dudes, and they know who they are. I'm talking about young dudes like 17, 18 years old on a street called Chatelain Avenue in a big trap house. You got young boys, 16, 17 years old out there really getting money, man. Really getting money. Then you got dude, this is the south side of town. But then on the north side of town, them dudes get money too, but it was a lot. I knew a lot of dudes over there, they was robbers. You feel me? They are robbing everything. And so having that type of mentality, get it how you live, bro, it was very dangerous.
That's what destroys communities.
That's what destroys it. You feel me? Poverty.
Yeah, because the mindset of getting how you live it is also, in a sense, it is destructive because it's not like, let me try to get it by any means necessary. But actually, well, it is that type of, but it's more of a, if I have to take it, regardless of what happens, I just need it regardless of whatever the consequences, whatever, regardless of whatever like the damage may happen. As long as I can eat, it is what it is. But that's reality for a lot of people, though.
All right, so when we talk about these street gangs, right? Because that's really what we talking about. All these organizations, right? Depending on what region you in, where you from, right? All right, but what about like, I was in the military. I was in the army. You feel me? When we was pushing that green, that's all that mattered. We didn't care about. Now these are our brothers and sisters. In let me see how in war and in service, right? But the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, bro, it was about the Army. That's what we cared about, the Army. You understand? So what about the military and the cops? Are they not gangs?
Yeah.
Because they have a code.
I would say they are.
They have uniforms. So how is it that
they for sure move like
because they definitely do. So how is it that they are not? It's not something that the police. Not, and I'm not talking about like internal affairs. Well, how is it not something that the police to make sure that they are doing their job? And because truthfully, when they say protect and serve, what does protect and serve mean? Who are you protecting and serving? Are you protecting and serving the rich? Because the poor are getting killed, beat.
The rich say something, they gonna switch that up real quick.
So when you see that protect and serve, who are you protecting and serving?
The people who put the money in your pockets. That's really what it is.
Know what I'm saying? So when you get on these street gangs and you say, oh, mind you, I'm somebody that, once again, I'm not against nothing positive. I'm just trying to have a conversation to bring forth to the people, just to give you a something to think about. Because I'm no way promoting gangs or gang activity, because this is something that I lived a very long time ago in my life, and it's nothing that I'm never gonna run away from, because it's something that I can teach somebody that's going through something that has nothing right now, and they got a flag in their pocket, a gun in their pocket, and they ready to put their life on the line for pushing their hood under all circumstances. And I can show them, and Javon can show them, hey, listen, use education, use your mind, and you can get up out that thing. No matter what you do, no matter where you at, if you just use your mind and let that education take you, bro, you can do it, bro. I'm telling you, even if you gotta go, I got relatives that told me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say his name, but just on the simple fact it's not relevant to the conversation. But I got a relative told me, bro, I used to go to school. You ain't even know this, bro. The clothes you used to see me wearing came from the thrift store. Mind you, but I thought he was very fly. Mm-hmm. Very fly. But when he told me that, it blew my mind. I was like, what? Thrift store? What you mean? He like, yeah, bro. My stuff came from the thrift store. But guess what? He didn't let that stop him from going to school. He got a diploma. You understand? So it's like, this is what you got to have these conversations. It's important. That's why every episode we do something different, because we touching on everything that goes on in this community. Because it's not always good. These is college students, and they live real lives. They live real lives. I've seen it. I'm watching it with them. You understand? These men have real live problems, and they go through hell to try to stay on the right path. That's why I'm congratulating Javon so heavy, because at the end of the day, he ain't even told. He spoke a little bit on himself. But he a business major. When he get out, he gonna be doing big things, very big things. So it's like, at the end of the day, I really need these guys to understand that where I come from is, you got some success stories. Don't get me wrong, you definitely do, because I'm one of them. You know, whether you know the city that I come from realize it or not, I carry them on my back. You know, I don't have to ever move back there, live there. But at the end of the day, they should understand that I'm someone that walked the same streets, walked the same halls. You understand? And at the end of the day, I come back and I try to give back, and I'm gonna always make sure that people know I'm a product of that environment. It made me. You understand? Now, mind you, I definitely done bounced around because of the military and life. I done went a lot of places. But that's still where I come from, is always in me. But I like to make sure that I educate even them and other people on, though we come from different places, we all have similar stories, and we can learn from each other. You feel me? So that was something that, one of the topics that I wanted to touch on. Another one is, like, why do you tend to think, we lean towards negativity in the black community? Because I feel like y'all age group is very desensitized to a lot of things. Like, I'm gonna touch on what I mean by that. I knew when I first got in the military, I was 18, right? I was in boot camp. You meet people from all over. I knew people who had never seen somebody get shot. Mm-hmm. I knew people who had never seen somebody get killed. You can be on Twitter on your phone and watch somebody get headshotted.
It used to be like niggas would be.
Look at Toby like wow.
Like they had 4chan videos and shit, a dark web picture.
That was the only way you could find that on the deep web.
You can pull it up At any moment in time, you pull up your phone on Twitter, you see porn instantly, you see death instantly, you see music, but you see it all on the same exact feed, at the same exact time, and it's like, why is that so accessible to everybody at all times? It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Me, because I've been on the internet for a very long time. I like people who know me know this not because of like how I am on the internet, it's because I would tell you straight up. Like I was on Tumblr and Twitter when I first had them hoes. Like, because I've had multiple accounts on both those platforms. So like about 2009, I was on the internet heavy, and I was seeing it like, especially on Tumblr and Twitter. First thing when I first got a Twitter, first few posts I saw was a guy getting his head blown up with a shotgun.
It's crazy.
Like, it was crazy. Especially like back then, yes, like dark web, but dark web was so much more easier to access back then.
Yeah, it was.
Like now, it's like it's harder to like, you gotta have to like wiggle your way or find your way to like get there. It's not hard, but
it used to be a site called albanoblacksheep.com.
Okay, you.
I know. Yeah. You was too young back. No, you wasn't even born yet. You keep it a band?
I heard about it.
You wasn't even born yet.
That shit, but I heard about it.
That's 1999 stuff.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That don't sound good.
Albino Black Sheep. They had to, and then you know what? I ain't even gonna do that because we go on YouTube. I ain't gonna let y'all restrict me and take me off because I was about to tell y'all something. But I would say, if you want to know what I'm about to say, go on YouTube and put The Smurfs, The Lost Episode, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a shame what they did to that, what's her name? Smurfette. It's a poor little shame what they did to that girl.
At first I wanted to know, but now I don't. But look, because when the internet even came about, it was very fast and very because it still is developing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was used properly. Everybody just dumping information on it. Everybody just dumping content and information on it.
Do you think even then, think about it, when YouTube was in its infancy, people were going to look for fights.
Because of that.
So why is that? Is what I'm asking. Why is that? Why do we lean more towards the negativity? Because let's say it used to be a point of time where I used to say, yeah, bro, yeah, I had a homie. Hey, bro, why you be posting guns and stuff, bro? Why you don't just post some of your poetry? He cause they don't like it, bro. Yeah, but they like when I post the guns, bro. But they like when the girls post her body. You feel me? Why do we go towards the negativity? What's the point in that?
I see I think it's two reasons. One, people are looking for acceptance, and it's easier to find acceptance in negativity. Just because people are drawn towards it, people are more likely to look towards negativity than positive. Y'all know yourself, y'all see on the news or anything, any type of outlet for information, people, they'll see the good information, then they'll see the bad information, or even vice versa, and they'll forget about the good information. You're gonna think about the bad. Today, what happened at that elementary? There has been some good things.
Hey, you know what?
That's that.
Rest in peace to everybody that lost their lives. And Uvalde, because that's a very tragic situation with people losing their lives. You're a coward, for going and shooting at children. That's not too far from us. Yeah. Rest in peace to everybody that lost their life in that situation, man. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to, I'm a school teacher, so that's something I don't really want to get into, bro. Cause that's a little too touchy, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. Let's try to slide on. Let's try to slide past that one, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
But people are more people find, I'm gonna say, solitude in negativity because they see that other people have also experienced that or are still experiencing that, and they're and it's somewhere for them to simmer down or be themselves in a sense. Why do you think, people just be going and gossiping about people heavy? Some people literally will only gossip about people when they're with certain people.
Yes, facts.
Because that's what they do. That's negative.
Yeah, that's what it, yeah.
But that's their safe haven. People tend to find more solitude in negativity than positivity. I don't know why, but it's how you said, bro, posting guns, girls posting their body, but if it comes to something that they actually want to do, like how his poetry or something else, like you're not gonna post that just because how he thinks people may perceive him.
Because even what we're doing right now,
yeah.
people not realizing it. Like we didn't have some great episodes. You understand? But I know the dudes who really know me gonna really appreciate this episode because they know where I come from, and some of them actually know who Javon is because I had them come and speak at a Men of Honor, meeting, because that's how we do it. We have a leader at each meeting, and when I was a vice president, speaking of which, let me be clear on that. It's very important that people know that it's not very like common that you see people who were gang banging, and mind you, not play banging, gang banging, and was able to go to a university, get into, honors college, business college, work their way up in an organization, be in multiple organizations, because me and Javon just want to Men of Honor, let's be clear. We weren't just in Men of Honor. We were in a lot of other organizations, and we still worked alongside other great men that were in other organizations as well. Shout out to that E-board, because at the end of the day, we couldn't have did it without each other. But let me tell you, we came together, changed not only our lives, but we changed the lives of the guys that came behind us and build a brotherhood, and we built something, a community that garnered respect on and off of UTSA campus. That's something that nobody can ever take from us, because at the end of the day, that was me and you getting together over that summer, building with each other, learning each other first before we can go and work with the rest of the team. That was strong, like that, and that's what people need to understand, that anything that you're doing when it's a leadership position, you got to be able to work as a unit and be able to know what each other's thinking, and that's what we did. We locked in, and we really worked real hard. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell people, Tommy is from Men of Honor as well, and that's like why this thing is so important. That's why you heard Men of Honor mentioned so much on different episodes, is because Men of Honor is very much an epitome of who we are and what we stand for. I cannot stress that enough. So like, this is something, Javon, we had touched on this in one of my meetings that I had ran, and me and you, another similarity that we had, but now it's changed, but we're going to talk about how it was at one point, okay? So, coming up, I had asked a question in the meeting, and it was a bunch of guys, and we had a few females there from Women of Honor, and I had said, if your father wasn't present in your life, step to this side of the room, and if you had both parents, step to that side of the room, right? And it was just me, you, and Jordan on the side with no dad, right? Yes, definitely. Shout out to Jordan. You very much missed, sis, on everything. We stood there and we looked at about 25 people.
The whole room.
Look at us.
Except us.
And looked at us with sympathy and sorrow, because they couldn't understand our pain, our struggle.
I don't want to say that's one of the key differences that separates me from a lot of them, because I love them guys more than anything, but I can definitely tell that specific trait that I had to learn on my own and grow up on my own made me cut a lot different from those type of guys.
Yeah.
And when I say those type of guys, I'm just talking about schoolboys who came from a good home. This ain't no diss. If you think that's bashing you, I mean.
Nah, because at the end of the day, what they are and what they do is what I wish I could have done. You understand? And that's why I tell them, I don't never think what I'm saying is talking down on you. It's just me acknowledging what you've done.
Yeah, and this is one of my main gripes not gripeful. How I feel is one of my main takes that gets me feeling the way. Nigga, I come from the bricks. I came from nothing for real. It was just me and my mom. So like Wisdom touched on a little earlier, I was involved, in some activities I probably shouldn't have been doing. So the fact that I made it to the college that I wanted to go to and got here and got around a lot of other people that didn't come from the environment I came from, and I see them trying to act like they came from that or pertain certain characteristics and shit.
It make you angry.
It's like, what the fuck y'all doing? Because it makes me so mad because it's like, nigga, I can see that y'all niggas didn't come from that. Why the fuck are you trying to portray this so hard now? And it's so annoying when I see that, and I hate it so much. And then when I see if I see some of the niggas that I met in college try to act like that, and we're cool enough for me to check that shit, I try my best to.
And he ain't lied. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. That's what made me rock with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I've seen him do it.
I hate that. I hate it for real.
So do you think not having a father, right, around, do you think it helped you or hurt you?
I would say it helped me become a man faster, but at the same time, it took away from some of my childhood because I didn't get to enjoy everything I would have wanted to growing up because I had to focus so much on being a man in the house.
All right, so what about your mom? How like, do you think, like, you put a lot of stress on her?
For sure. And
now, see, for me,
go ahead.
I ain't put my mama through no stress. My mom was working, right? She worked. She also went to the club, and she had her men, and she would get married, and I didn't put her through nothing. Everything I did under the rug. You understand? I didn't drag my mama through nothing.
I tried to until she found out. Like it was a certain situation. I got jumped at a house party after prom.
Ooh.
Yeah, so for her to find out I was involved in shit like that by coming to see me fucked up in front of the police, it was a bit of a dramatic change for her. It made her see a lot of what I was doing differently whenever I say, all right, Mom, I'll see you later.
And I know how you feel about your mom. You love your mom.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even talk to my mom.
Damn.
I don't even talk to her. And I'm gonna keep it real. It's just simply because our family is so dysfunctional, so much trauma and pain. It's so hard to come back from it. And they'll look at you, like I'm talking about when I say you want to talk about me, they'll look at me like I'm crazy and I'm the traitor and I'm the one that don't love nobody, right?
Yeah.
But because I'm keeping it real. I'm just not going to be fake.
That's how I feel with a lot of my family.
You understand? We ain't been close this whole time. We've done nothing but wipe things under the rug, lie on each other, talk bad about each other, but then it's a family event and we all come to each other and give each other fake smiles and hugs, right?
I'm definitely the family member that don't go to shit. If I ever go back home to see my family, I see my mom, my grandma, my cousin. That's probably it.
And it hurts me that, like, I got children and they really don't know their family, but it's like, even before I stopped talking to them, they didn't know them anyway. So it's like, what is you know what I mean? So it really like made me, cause I wanted to be a part of something so bad, bro. That's what made me jump into joining the gang, right? And I jumped into it young, not realizing that the person that I was following behind, not even real. He's not even official. I had to learn by doing it wrong to get it right. You understand? So when I got it right, I wanted to make sure that I did it all the way at a high level to make sure that nobody could ever tell me what I was doing wasn't real. Mm-hmm. And I made sure I surpassed most of the people that I started it with just to make sure that I can say I did it and I did it better than you. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because it was nothing that I could be proud of at the time. Because everything I ever had was being taken from me. It was always being taken from me. You understand? I had to share it. I had to share my mother, right? Because I lost my father. He died, and my father never lived in a home with me. He had other children. He did what he did, right? He ran the streets. But I had to share my mother with these men. I had to share my mother with her job, all right? But if she didn't go to work, right, what would happen, right? But at the same time, then you're not always at work. So that extra time that you taking to try to build your love, you need to take it and put it into Your children, because you were making love or doing whatever you was doing to have them, so you got to invest that same time into raising them. You understand? Because we can't raise ourselves. And when you got a child that has nothing but time, that leads you to be naive, mischievous, troublesome, whatever. You feel me? For me, that's why I always crack the jokes about lusting for whores and stuff like that, because sex was a big thing in my generation. That's what everybody was doing, having sex. It was only like, I talk about this gang thing, but the gang thing really came a little later. It used to be like, so y'all generation is very big, right? But when I was growing up doing this is the 90s, early 90s in the early 2000s, right? So they was laughing at what we was doing. They dudes used to come up to me and be like, hey man, throw them things up and throw them signs up and then laugh. They wasn't taking it serious. But these same dudes today, it's gang banging. In their 30s, they went to jail, went to prison, and gang bang. Now, nothing wrong with that. You make your own choice, you do what you do. But what was that mentality at when you was young? Why all of a sudden did you decide that you want to do this in your 20s and 30s?
It was cool. It was cool.
Like, that to me doesn't make sense.
But also, some people, they grow up and then they realize they're not a part of anything, or they have nothing to really like fall back on or stand up with, and come to like outside of their individual what they've done for themselves, so they have to gravitate towards something. That's like, in like retrospect, a lot of people, once they do go through college and go through everything they want to get, like, or they achieve something they have, they feel lost because now you've gone everything, but you have nothing in a sense. It's like, to some of them, like, in a sense of financially, all right, now you've got everything you wanted to. You went through college, you got your job and everything like that, but socially, you feel like nothing because you have nothing. You sacrificed all that for school and for everything else that you were doing in your life. So now when it came out to that, you don't have really a real sense of community. And a lot of people, like, they see that in gangs. And, like, that's what, in reality, a gang isn't really like, oh yeah, we can just go. It's a sense of people coming together because they need to, and a sense of community. Like, the way that y'all would talk about the people that y'all grew up with, or like that y'all actually like have to struggle with and like do things, you know, to survive or to get certain things, is more of a, yeah, I like, these are people I'll die for, and people I bled with, starved with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All that. So it's like, certain people, they don't have that. Like, they don't have that indirection. Yeah, they have their families and everything like that, but a lot of relationships that people do have are very shallow.
Nah, you're right.
When it comes to people in gangs, relationships do not be shallow. Like, it's you have my back, I have your back, and we in this, like, if I need something or anything going on and I need someone to call, I know I can call you.
But I'm gonna keep it real though. It definitely is like that though. But you definitely got, and I'm because I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not another side to that thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's another side to that thing where we got a guest coming through the door. Who that is coming through? Oh, that's the boy Dre coming in. What's up, Dre? How you living? He's just getting off work. So it's like, it's another side to that thing where, to be honest, you got dudes that's straight pure clowns, punks.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't.
And they only in it
just
to be around the party, get the name,
get women,
and get the fame. Party bangers.
That's how I feel a lot of these niggas got to college and started doing. Not necessarily.
What are you? When just so look. When so now, not talking about the Bloods, the Crips, the Latin Kings, and all the gangs like that, right? Well, all right. Well, let's talk about the Divine Nine. How are they used on these campuses?
I feel like lately, a lot of them, and it's not a diss to none of my niggas and frats. I of course know your reason might be a little different, but I feel like the general viewpoint of it is like a lot of the niggas that turn Kappa act like Bloods. And
I'm not starting to notice that.
I see that a lot more prevalent with the later generation.
I'm starting to see that.
And then like some of the alpha niggas be acting like GDs. What's the Zetas at PV? A lot of them wear blue bandanas on their left side now, but they Zetas and shit. I don't know
I don't know.
Sigmas. It's
the
type shit, whatever it's called.
Leg
yeah, whatever.
The leg shaking.
But I see a lot of the schoolboys that cross over into fraternities treat that as if it's a street game instead of what the main purpose of it being the fraternity.
Yeah, because I've been in El Paso and we didn't got a tour with the fraternities.
Mm-hmm.
Someone literally got into a whole fight.
Because it's the same. Like they're going there to find unity, and once they feel that, they feel protected and feel on top of the world.
So that's where my question is to y'all. Why is it that it's only these branded gangs are being attacked by the regular police or the feds? Why is it that only these, national label gangs? Why is it that?
Because in a sense, I would say just because of the fact that a lot of gangs are lost from like their actual roots and what they like come from, and in a sense, these like frats stuff like that, they're heading in that direction. Like you can't say like outside of most HBCUs, most frats.
Yeah, I think it's a little. I think it's a little different outside when you leave outside of the HBCUs. I think it get watered down. They're just like, all right, let's put it like this. When you think about the original gangs, wherever their origins come from, right? When you started to leave those origins, because even when you go, I'm gonna use just Bloods and Crips, right? California, it's their home base, right? Outside of California, it starts to lose some of its tradition, right? But even when you go into California, the tradition is even lost there. So you gotta know that it's gonna be lost everywhere, because even in where it's from, the tradition is not followed by everybody. The protocol is followed by most, but it's not always followed by all, because I'll give you an example. Like, people was upset when they were talking about Nipsey Hussle's mural getting spray painted over, right?
Yeah.
But Javon, you're a gangbanger. At one point in time in your life, you was gangbanging, right? Let's keep it honest. I was gangbanging one time in my life. Do you or do you not tag over people's murals? Do you not tag over gangs, hoods, and names?
Me personally, I
No, not you personally. We talking about what happens in gangbanging.
Yeah, it was.
Because you have different morals, principles, and values, but we talking about just gangbanging in general.
Yeah, that's true. If it was anybody on an opposing side that that died, it's like a celebration.
So my thing is, they pick and choose when it's wrong. If it's gonna be wrong, let it be wrong. But if you saying it's wrong, create some type of services where these kids can get help. Because what's going on is boredom, lack of opportunities, lack of resources. And then the people that are trying, let's keep it real, because there's people out here that's trying. They don't get the support.
No support at all.
No support. So how do you make it work?
But that's also in a sense because in gangs, also non-gangs, like a lot of the leadership, you're not getting a full handoff. I'm gonna say, like in frats or in gangs and like certain organizations, a lot of the members either get in there for very selfish reasons, like how you said, the party people who try to get
Yeah, the party gang members.
Yeah, and then
the party hangers.
Yeah.
And then there's like the people who were there for like the actual reasons to learn something, but that's becoming it's becoming rarer and rarer in things, because a lot of people click up just to feel power or just to feel something about themselves, rather than someone who I say like y'all two who went there not because of I'm just trying to be.
And we use education to get us out.
Yeah.
And we use our story to let people understand that it's not over simply because you made bad choices at one point in time in your life. It's not over. Because you always got a chance to make the right choice and get on the right path.
I definitely think having these experiences has helped mold me to be a better leader, to guide the same, like what we tried to do with Men of Honor. In the past 2 years, we just added No Man Left Behind
Yes,
to
sir.
the motto. That was the main tagline. Like, of course, we was because I remember. I don't know when it was a Super Bowl party when you was getting on us. You was like,
Yes, sir.
y'all motto was unified, dignified,
2020.
multiply.
2020.
How the hell are y'all, okay, how are y'all going to do that? And we was all sitting there looking crazy. I was the main nigga arguing back and forth with you because everybody else sitting there.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just me and Wisdom talking in a room full of niggas talking about the purpose of Mo. So after that, that's when me, Corey, Cam, we all got together. It was like, that's when we had that big ass e-board meeting.
Yep, with the whiteboard at CJ's crib.
It was first. It was like, all right, we need to sit down and figure out why the hell we're gonna keep doing this, what purpose we have, shit like that. That's when we came up with adding No Man Left Behind to the motto because it meant so much more than just words.
That's right.
What we try to do is create a safe haven for black men who felt like they had no sense of direction, no identity, no voice, shit like that, because it was so important that if they had a positive sense of direction, it would help them, because I know what it's like to have a negative sense of direction.
Yeah, and look who we grabbed. Like, you gotta think about it. We didn't only just have dudes that was school guys, because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say your name, bro, because I love you and you definitely deserve to get this love that I'm about to say. We had somebody like Royce, who was a light-skinned, crazy guy who would just lose it and want to fight everybody. You feel me? But he has a great heart, though. You feel me? But you can tell that he has been somewhere in his life, and he got demons, and just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. He trying hard. You understand? So we pulled in guys that have crazy backgrounds. We didn't have just one kind.
They let a nigga with a crazy background be the president.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I said we had former gang members,
former gang members.
So I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Nah, but I just want to say something about the Royce situation. I feel like a lot of people, they see people who are, I'm gonna say like Royce, who are chill and easy to tamper with and try to like provoke them. Like people like to poke a bear. Just to see what will happen.
And he will show you real quick that he ain't the one.
I don't see the point of trying to mess with people who are peaceful, especially because like, why?
I feel like it's because most of the niggas that you see is overly peaceful that don't really talk too much is like that for a reason. Like Wisdom said, when he first met me, I was one of the more reserved type of niggas, because I know you can't just be cool and friendly with everybody, because everybody not gonna have a positive. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully with Wisdom, we clicked instantly because we was from the same background. We talked about the same shit.
Yep.
I could tell this nigga was somebody who, it's cliche, but was full of wisdom and had some shit to say. Anytime he spoke or said something, it was always profound, or it was always like, damn, this sound like an older version of me who's been through this shit. And it's like, nah, little nigga, I'm telling you, what y'all doing right now is fine. Even when I thought, like, damn, is this shit really making a difference?
Is this for me?
Somebody like Wisdom came in and was like, oh no, for sure, this is great. I'm glad y'all did this. I'm glad I was pushed into doing this with y'all. So that was that was a great reassurance.
Yeah, because I seen y'all grow. I seen y'all grow in ways that I wish I could have grown at y'all age. That's why I was so proud to have been here and seen it in the beginning, seeing y'all still trying to figure it out, but also having to sometime in the beginning give y'all tough love, especially when I first came home from prison. I came home, I had to really talk to y'all in a way where I needed y'all to know, bro, I just came from a place where I just seen dudes almost die every day. I almost died fighting every day, having to carry blades and make makeshift knife, man, all kinds of wild stuff, bro. And I needed y'all to understand that right now, we need to figure out how we can help ourselves, but help other people, because if we don't, this is where people gonna be at, where I just came from. And luckily, I was able to, get out that situation and never look back. But I don't want nobody else to have to endure that same pain of having to call home from jail phones and, being in segregation because they saying that because of your background, you can't be on in general population because you have too much authority over people. Like, you know what that does to your mind to only be able to get one book a week, to be able to take a shower once a week, to only get to see your lawyer. Bro, that does something. Like, it's even now where I isolate myself from people just because I got so used to that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Where I usually would just go in my room, cut everything off, and don't want to deal with people just because that isolation it really did something to my mind. And I ain't been locked up. I'm free. But sometimes mentally I box myself in, just because of that trauma. That's what we've been through, trauma. And a lot of us don't even realize it. Like, that's why I would always talk to you like, man, look, man, when you used to be like, man, these dudes don't understand, bro. They ain't like me. That's why I'm ready to just drop out. Yeah. I'm ready to just leave school. And I'm like, nah, bro. No, don't leave, bro. No, they not like you. Guess what? But this is what you gotta understand. You're not like them neither. But guess what? Y'all are all here for one purpose.
Yeah.
To learn and get a degree. And if you're not gonna be here to network, then you don't understand the purpose of this institution. This institution is here for you to come in, meet people, make connections. When all y'all graduate, you use those connections and network with the connections that y'all done made in y'all own prospective jobs and fields, and share those connections with each other. That's all this is about at the end of the day. And then it's big business, of course, but at the end of the day, you got to understand that if you use it and actually get in there and make it work for you, get in there, actually join organizations, be active. That's what they tell you, be active. Because if you be active, you're going to put yourself in places to where it's going to be more helpful for you after you leave than it is when you're there. Because you're not going to see the big picture until you leave. Like, even all these awards that Javon they got, like that he shouted out in the beginning, I bet he never thought when I first met him, fall 2019, that he was going to get there. I remember when I first met Javon only had one suit. He's like, bro, I ain't got one suit, bro.
And it was tight as hell.
He's like, bro, I ain't got one suit, bro. I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. I ain't for all that. I call him the Polo Don because he forced me. He forced me to wear polo simply because they told me a story how he came to the first meeting when everybody was suited and booted with a polo sweatsuit on.
Yeah, man.
Did he so it's like that's how different Javon was from the rest of them.
I come from the bricks, nigga. They tell me dress up with a suit on and some polo jumper. One solid color. Like, I came to the meetings in hoodies, text, sweats, with my hoodie on, not speaking to niggas. It wasn't until later on when I opened up more and started being active when we was doing like community service and going to socials and shit like that I was like, okay, this is a positive group that I can get behind of niggas. Keep it simple, niggas. Yes, black men. So it was a big change seeing that large of a population of black men doing something positive. I know at one of the very first meetings my freshman year, they asked us, the people on the e-board asked us, on the then e-board, was like, how do y'all feel about what Mo's doing right now? And I was like, it felt like I'm chilling with my homeboys, but we're actually talking about real issues and real events and real occurrences and stuff like that. I didn't have that a lot, so it was a big change, and I know I wanted to be a part of it, but I never thought I'd be able to spearhead it and lead it into what it is today.
Nah, you did it 2 consecutive terms.
Facts.
And that's something that really got to be commended and acknowledged because, bro, like, that's not easy to do all that and, having to still keep your grades up, and trying to, make money on the side. Like, it was a lot of things that I seen you try to juggle, you know what I mean? Because we already had Corey on here. Corey and Javon, they worked together just how me and Javon worked together. When I graduated, Corey came up and they started doing their thing together, and they took that thing to a whole nother level. Because when I walked the stage at the black graduation, I got to look at all the pictures of what was going on because I had student teaching my last semester. So I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I missed all the meetings, every last meeting except for one, and that was Devon's meeting. I went to his meeting. That's when you was in New York.
Okay,
Yes, sir. So I had went to that meeting. That's when I saw a white guy there, and I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
no, we started just being consistent and deep all the time.
You know what I mean? So that had blew my mind. I'm like, okay, well, we got some diversity.
It's crazy because it used to be a low number for meetings for us was like under 10 niggas is here.
Yes.
Most of them is on the e-board. Now a low meeting number for us is it's at least 20 people in there, and it's like, damn, there's not a lot of people today.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So
it's like we came a very long way.
It used to just be like 4 or 5 people.
Oh my God, me included.
Barely even the e-board on there.
Yeah, man.
Now
the e-board was
everybody.
But that goes to show you how much has changed, man. And I got like a few more questions, but like
for me.
Yeah, just in general, like how old do you feel internally? And it's something just for you too, Tony. Like, how do you feel internally leaving behind your homies? At home, knowing that you trying to chase, an education and make your life better. How does that make you feel?
I actually just dealt with something like that earlier today. I see it a lot. It's something as simple as when I post highlights on like my Instagram story. Like they had a little thread or something called like random flicks of college days. I think you see it.
They don't let me do that on my day. Like that's why I never do them.
That's crazy. I posted like 3 or 4 different little highlights and snippets of pics like when I was getting potted in the e-board, us at BSU swag, surfing and shit, like various fun times of
y'all
me enjoying
want to
myself.
listen to date auction?
Facts. And we look fly as hell. But stuff like that, and some of my guys from back home, like I always see them watch it, but they never say nothing. When I made the post about when I stepped down as Men of Honor president, I see them, they'll see it, but they never say nothing. But whenever I post like some cool shit, I post some music, post something about a girl, I post something about smoking, anything street related, coon related, I say coon related, it's cool, yeah. They'll always react to it. They always
back to the negativity.
They like, and then like I posted something.
That one meme that be like,
ahead.
I thrive off niggas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Whenever I post something about what I'm doing, positive in my life, or that's better, like when I won a Who's Who, community service award, just shit like that. It's never a good. It never sounds like good feedback from them, and it's just like these are the same niggas I was in the field with doing bad shit. Y'all was congratulating us when the Lakers hit successfully. Why is it now that it's different?
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like they're still on that same shit. That's why I don't interact with them as much. Like, I mean, I get DMs from Instagram accounts made from some of my niggas that's in jail right now saying, "What's good? Yo, how's it going? On the way home soon." And it's like, I don't know how I feel about responding to it. It's just like, come on now. It's cool, and I see them post hella throwbacks and shit like that of back when they was out, and it's still the same, throwing up the same shit, doing the same shit. So I know, like, even in there, while you isolating yourself or whatever you're doing, you still on that same dumb shit. So it's.
And you know what's crazy? I used to battle with this, so that's why I want to hear both of y'all perspectives before I give my input. What's up, Tommy? How you be feeling?
In a sense, though, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really get good or bad feedback for most things I do, but I don't really talk about most things I do, good or bad. So it's 50-50. Like, for the most part, if people are to see certain type of accomplishments, I know I'm gonna have certain people be like, yeah, congratulations, but for the most part, I could say it's part me, because I don't really, express myself on social media aspect of what I'm doing and what's going on in my life. But even if, I know for a fact that a lot of people, even some of the people that were doing a lot of those, like, if I was to, like, post certain things or do certain things, they wouldn't even try to entertain it. They'd be like, what are you doing? Certain people would be like, well, actually check me out for, like, why? Like,
yeah.
what are you doing right now? But for the most part, as long as I'm safe, they just gonna chill out.
Yeah.
Like that's like a lot of people. That's all they want from me. They just want me to be safe and like actually like try to get the things I want to do. They'll be hyping me for my accomplishments, but they're more like, I'm not gonna disturb him. I just want him to make sure he's doing like him stay on the right track. But if everything's right, they're gonna leave me alone. That's how a lot of people I grew up with are, and like I don't see anything wrong with it. Same time I do like kind of want the little encouragement here and there on the positive things, but I don't know if I give it out enough to be trying to even want it as much back from other people. So it is refreshing though, because whenever they do like congratulate me on certain things or like hype me up about things, I do get really happy like that. Like I know you've seen me at certain times where when I had that like certain times certain people show me type of love, like I'll feel different, like I'll like my whole personality kind of change up in like a very like bubbly way. Because even growing up, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like outside of certain things, that's why I'm gonna say like I know for a fact that certain people do look towards gangs, because whenever like it is that sense of community, y'all will praise each other or bag each other and treat each other like the same thing that you hold yourself to.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
because we have laws that you have to follow, or there's consequences that will come.
Yeah, but outside of that, it's not really like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
that's true, and that's sometimes it used to bother me. I'd be like, these neutrals.
Yeah, because people.
I'd be like, these neutrals don't understand what it is. But then when I got in the military, right, my word changed from neutrals to civilians.
Yeah.
These civilians don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that I went from one institution to one gang and joined another one.
Seeing that in real time in the same community that I'm in, and like, cause it's like, I'm gonna go back to the frats again. Whenever they doing they stroll, throwing up, it's supposed to be like the Kappa thing. That's blood. So I'm like, nigga, it make me.
But see, then they'll say this though, and this is where I can, because I know their history, right?
Facts.
They were around before blood.
I know. I understand that.
Yeah,
But
so that's where they can say this is not blood to. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the yo mean when they, you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that could be their argument. Is this is 1911, and that's you know what I mean?
I mean.
1911 came before. I'm not trying to give up the history of certain things. Go Google. You know what I mean? If y'all trying to know. So it's like when you think about that, they have an argument to say they was around, but I do feel like that a lot of them do push towards trying to have more of a gang affiliation.
Facts. And it's like that's not at all what fraternities were put into place for.
But I know some really cool Kappas. Don't get me wrong now. I know some very cool ones, but I'm not even just right now speaking towards UTSA Kappas. I'm talking about Kappas in all areas. Because I'm not just a one base person. I go all over, so I see what's going on in a lot of places. So, I definitely do see that where, they have more of some time of a gang aspect, and they can definitely get confused with guys in the streets where they can take that as, disrespect.
That's the thing as somebody who comes from that type of environment, that's what always frustrates me. I had it was like freshman year when I first got to college. I remember saying it. Like, why do the schoolboy frat niggas want to be gang members so bad? It's okay to just be, you're whatever you are, Greek letter, that's cool. You don't have to act like harder than what it is.
Yeah.
Because what you're already representing now is pristine in itself.
Yes, sir. Because you had black excellence that came through and put in a lot of pain to make it what it is. So it should be held up high. But I also feel like that about the gangs. True. Because And no matter what gang you, because if you go look at Larry Hoover, all right, Larry Hoover did something that most people cannot do. He brought black men and women together.
Facts.
All right, he got them to vote. He got them to actually get out and get in their community. All right. Well, they labeled the Black Panthers again, right?
Panthers, yeah.
But okay, but
they was giving out food and lunch and shit.
But this is now our school system
go ahead.
gives out free lunch, right? Who you think they got that from? They stole that from the Panthers after they crushed them because they didn't want to say the mob was a real thing, okay? So they made blacks public enemy number one and went after the Panthers. You understand? So when you really look at, that's why I keep touching on this gang thing, because it's not really about the gang. It's about the people. It's about the situations and circumstances. It's about the resources, because you got people that's real big. Like I'm gonna tell you this: when I was an active push in the hood, I never told my homies, little homies, to sell drugs. I never put a gun in their hand. And if it was homies that I knew would do it, I kept them away from it. Now, if they went around me to get to it, that ain't on me. Because I did everything I was supposed to do. And everybody that comes from up under that generation that I was in, they can vouch for that, and they'll tell you he not lying. Because that's something that what I chose to do for my reasons ain't got to be your reasons. And this may look good to you, but little nigga, you might die.
Yeah, type shit.
You gonna get your head bust. I walk around every day with a crooked nose because the motherfucker bust my ass. What I'm talking about, with a Grey Goose bottle, and I still don't know who he is to this day. Never seen him. Because I'm out there pushing the hood. And the dude that I was with, guess what he did? He watched me get beat up. But he wasn't from my gang. He was from a different gang, you feel me? So he wasn't obligated to help, but he was with me. But he watched me get cooked. I'll push on a dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving him the business. His homeboy jump in, start giving me the business. And guess who had my back? The females. But they gun licensed. So if I shoot her gun, she got to answer to the police. Well, guess what she gonna have to do? She got to tell on me. And I'm at a store. I'm at a 7-Eleven. There's cameras everywhere. So do I throw my life away for a temporary feeling of emotion? Or do I sit back and calculate and figure out how to win in this situation, because it ain't about the battle, it's about the war. It ain't about the battle. Because you can fight many battles to win the war. And that's what I had to understand. Sometimes it ain't worth it to just make irrational and impulsive decisions, because that's not what men do. Men move I over E, intelligence over emotion. That's what men do. So I had to learn that. And that's why when I used to see you getting off the deep end where I felt like you was about to turn, I would tell you like, nah, bro, don't do that. Because I didn't have nobody to do that for me. I didn't have nobody to do that for me. That's why when I came around y'all, I looked at this, I said, yo, this is a blessing. This is my time to make right for all the wrong I did by now telling them, hey, bro, I'm not no preacher. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. I'm just going to tell you what I went through and the long road of heartbreak and pain that it caused me. And the only thing I want to do is save you from it. You know what I'm saying? I brought a homegirl that I grew up with, Queen Bee Waving. Go follow her on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You know, I brought her and she came and she spoke to the guys. You know what I'm saying? She's a master waver. You know what I'm saying? A BBW, you know, model. She do her thing. You know what I'm saying? But she came and talked to the guys about how, you know, college ain't even for everybody. So don't even feel like, even if something happens and you may have to leave, that don't feel bad, because life happens. Or if you knew somebody that went and they didn't make it, it might not have been for them. And don't even look down on them, because at the end of the day, only thing you doing is going to a school and somebody's telling you what to do. You waking up, you following a routine. Not saying that's bad. All I'm saying is that people can push and talk down on you the same way you can talk down on them. But the difference is that we have the discipline to stick to something without giving up. That's why we have to give ourselves the credit, because it's definitely easy to go break the law. It's definitely easy. It's much harder to try not to break the law. Much easier, especially when you easily know how to break the law.
Everybody can destroy, but not everybody can create.
Exactly. It's, build or destroy. You know what I'm saying? The number 8. My bro's like, so it's like, I don't really want to like. No, go ahead.
Well, that's the knowledge, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Shout out to the gods. It's just, sometimes I like to throw that out there. I don't really try to push down. Y'all know, because I talked to y'all about.
And it's crazy that you said that, because over the past couple weeks, I've looked a lot more into that to understand.
To the next to the gods and earths?
Yes, and I've seen at the top of each little document, it said this was originally not intended to be printed or told,
no.
But since times have changed and the word needs to get out, we've put the truth in forms like this.
And shout out to Unique G Allah. Unique G Allah. Brother, much peace and blessings to you, God. I had the blessing to be able to meet that brother. I took my children, to the temple where they got to actually, see the gods and see the gods build and show what they want to do for the babies. Because the one thing that I want to say is, y'all know who Wu-Tang is, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how Wu-Tang always say Wu-Tang is for the babies. Mm-hmm. Wu-Tang is like, a lot of them come from the gods, original gods. Some of them went in, became Sunni Muslim, Nation of Islam. So, some of them went different ways, but a lot of them come out of the gods. You feel me? A lot of them is gods. So it's like, it interests you because it is you. That's why it interests you, because it is you. Knowledge itself is important. Mm-hmm. When you understand that, the supreme mathematics was made for us and by us, mm-hmm. Then you'll start to understand why you have a social security number, why you have addresses, why these numbers are so important, because they mean something. Why math, which was created by the black man. Mm-hmm. You understand? Why math is so important. Then you start to understand why things like, like I give you a smooth one right here. A person that is a carpenter, right? They have their carpenter tool, right? And that's how they use it to be able to make anything, right? And it's shaped like what? An L, right? Now, when you stand as a gang member, and on your stance, you cocking your foot to the left or to the right? What does that make? A square. All right? 90 degrees. Think about this.
Yeah, you being for real.
90 degrees 4 times make what? 360. How many degrees is in a circle?
360.
How many degrees is in a triangle?
I'm tripping to 180.
Right?
Yeah.
How many degrees are in a rectangle?
You want to answer that yourself? I knew the triangle and the circle.
No. It should be.
Go ahead.
360.
360.
Okay.
So now look at this.
The rectangle is extended.
You might have, now think about this. You might have a lot of people in your circle, right? But how many of them gonna be in your corner?
Damn. Damn.
Now I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
Yeah, was it?
And then look, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. This the No Name Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in.